So you're me from the future. Yeah, basically. Really? No, I'm not. Wait, seriously, where's those Action Force guys? I'm supposed to be in a new review. Yeah, more on that, hopefully later this weekend. You know what? I'm gonna go outside and find them. It's what I'm good at, by the way. Seriously, review me soon. Yeah, on it. What's your name again? Stuart! My name is Stuart! Wait, seriously? Oh crap. Hey everybody, this is Retrokid Reviews. Totally not doing a second take for my top 5 best and worst movies of 2021. I'm sorry, 2022. My god, is pandemic over yet, honestly? Anyway, getting to the, I guess, good news. I'm going to do honorable mentions first for both the best and worst movies, since I have apparently new time now. You're sure you're not on time traveler there, dude? No, I'm not! I'm not. Just do your stupid top 5 right now. Honestly, at this point in the timeline, it should be like top 20. Okay, says the guy who said you're me from the future. Again, I'm not. Okay, you probably are. Figure, timeline, storyline, which I hope I don't do aside, and, misarticulating, my figure form. Yeah, in case you can tell, throughout all this year, as far as last year's content goes, I kind of got used to having V here as, like, my current me, so I guess that's going to be it going forward as far as channel content goes, and I guess, I don't know, housekeeping as far as my channel goes. So, yeah, also, if you saw my, community tab, yes, I did get, Stuart, Outback, Garlic here, from the G.I. Joe Classified line, and there is a lot of nice, Action Force, figures coming up in Wave 3 that I kind of think would actually gel with him pretty cool, as far as photos go going forward. And, I think I said this in my first take, I'm gonna do something unique for a, figure review, so more on that when that comes out, hopefully this weekend. And, unless you guys see it on the Instagram post, yes, I actually went out and touched grass. More on that meme next time. So, until then, honorable mentions first for the good movies. Yeah, Dragon Ball Superhero. I never thought I'd see a movie that basically gave more focus on Gohan than the actual original Dragon Ball Z timeline or even the manga. So, I didn't see this movie when it was new, either sub or dub in theaters, and I'm still waiting for like a streaming release of it. Sorry to say. It's pretty much in the Dragon Ball Broly situation where I'm kind of waiting for like Stars or somebody to like put it on linear television so I could take a look at it. But from what I've been hearing so far from everyone's previous reviews, like Chris Duckman's cartoon, by the way, he actually had a lot of fun with it. He said it was the best focused Gohan got in years, and yeah, Red Ribbon got a glow up as far as being in the Super timeline goes. So hey, more power to him on that. Lastly, in the honorable mentions for the good movies, I actually saw Barbarian, and, I wished I had time to do a full spoilers review, because if you told me a former Wise Kids You Know, alumni became the best horror, directors of 2022, I would be saying, yeah, I guess Sam Brown, right? Like, and it's not Sam, so I'll leave that if I ever do a spoiler review of that, if that movie ever gets a sequel, which, given the plot of Barbarian, it's kind of one and done, and, very much so. So I don't know. Yeah, congrats to the director for on that one. Thank you, Zach. Seriously, I know I just spoiled that, but believe me, that's like the bottom of like bottom things I can say about it, spoilers wise. In a good way. Just saying. So on to the honorable mentions for the worst list. Let's do with Moonfall and Ambulance, because yeah, former directors I usually had a, I don't know, love-hate relationship with. Yeah, we'll talk more about them in the worst list later in this video. So before we get to that, let's get to part 5 or number 5 in the best list. Yeah, I'm kind of scrambling here than usual. Sorry for that, guys. Prey. I already did a review of this, and the criteria for my list this year is to be already reviewed, so I won't save you any time for myself and for this video. Yeah, this is still the best movie in the Predator franchise. That's basically the more back to basics I've seen since, I want to say, Predator 2 in like 1990. I know that's weird to say. Also, like I said in that review, there was a good 30-year, I guess, of payoff to that sequel. So again, more on that in my review, so you guys will see that there. I won't leave here anytime. Amber Midthunder is amazing in this movie. I apologize for getting her character's name, but the representation for Indigenous Americans or Native Americans, however I want to say it going forward for the rest of this year goes, politically speaking, is really good. As good history and stuff like that. I'll still agree that the French guys, who were historically dumbasses in that part of the Great Plains, timeline were pretty much what I'm gonna say is the least focused. Unless there's actual French reviewers that saw them as like, yeah, that was definitely us in history kind of vibes. Then please let me know in the comments with that. So on to number four. Scream 2022, which barely almost made the honorable mention in my worst list, but then I realized, oh yeah, Jenna Ortega is basically crushing it nowadays, being Wednesday on Netflix. So that alone got you on number four, and just her career alone this past year was pretty good. She basically became the new Scream Queen with this and X, and like I said earlier with Wednesday uh, for Netflix. Yeah, this is basically her like mainstream come out year as like this new actress kind of vibe. I know she's been around a little longer than that, and honestly, no more power to her. Going forward for this franchise, because yes, I'm very much aware of the Scream 6 trailer. I'm very happy it's going to be in New York, and I cannot wait to see that later this year. So on to number three. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I already did a review of this, and I'll try to keep some nuance, like I said, in that one. This is a really good fitting tribute to Chadwick Boseman. I know there was a lot going on behind the scenes with she's right, if she is or isn't a COVID denier. I think there was a blog post that vaguely explained that she's kind of done with it, she's okay with it. I'm trying my best not to politicize her, or more importantly in this case, assume something that probably isn't true yet. For Namor, he's a really good introduction to a pretty decent MCU villain since Killmonger in the Black Panther franchise's case. I'm happy for Ryan Coogler and the team to finally make a movie that they want to do in tribute of Chadwick in general, and while also explaining some new stuff going forward for legacy stuff like that. And I think Nando V Movies himself said it in his Mostly Nitpicking podcast. Yeah, the MCU is being more about dads these days, and I think 2022 movies in general. And I guess no more fitting, segue to my number two movie of the year, Avatar: The Way of Water. I already did a review of this, and I mainly made it more about a Christmas list of Nerf gear, but surprisingly, the Elite 2.0 line, if there was ever like a memeable time to make that a trend for Avatar fans, yeah, I'm kind of with it. The Water Tribe in this case looked pretty good. Wow, my focus is way off. Oh, sorry guys on this one. Getting to the point, it is actually a pretty decent sequel, regardless of the situation. And yes, I'm very much aware of that. The next movie is going to be a Fire Tribe. So basically, Cameron is just ripping off all of Avatar: The Last Airbender's homework. I'll be surprised if he did. I don't know. Legend of Korra timeline at this point. We get to like the next several sequels, and yeah, as of this recording, it did finally get its $1 billion mark. I kind of assumed it would. I think it's hovering around 1.5. It's Thursday as of this recording. Going to, I guess, what is it, three or four with this movie? And long story short, it might get that $2 billion. Never bet against Cameron, especially if you're 7 guys on the internet who think you're still a fandom menace. By the way, go to the Fandom Initiative. They're a really good channel. They're trying to debunk a bunch of these guys, so I highly recommend them. I'll check the channel down below. If not, go through actual fandom so that you can get the other half of those channels as well. So that being said, let's get to the number one of the year. Surprisingly, I wish I had anybody in the Bat Family for this. I'm here. What's number one? Is it Black Adam? Did they change the paradigm of the DCEU? No, it's the Batman. Like, come on. You had Robert Pattinson be the most play against character type of his career, which is saying a lot because he was Edward Cullen in the Twilight franchise, and is basically the new hotness as far as Batman goes. Oh. Okay. When's my third issue in Wildcats? I'm just gonna go wild out over here. That's not gonna be a thing, Cole. It's like, oh, it's gonna be. Oh my god, I can't believe I missed Jason at this point. Anyway, that's the best of the year, and normally I just do a separate video explaining the worst, but since this is a wrap-up of the year-end video, we're gonna just totally preempt the worst list. Yeah, so long story short, yeah, number 5 is gonna be Jurassic World Dominion, but before we get to that, like I said with my honorable mentions, Moonfall. Did not think Roland Emmerich had another disaster movie in the system, and honestly, at this point, it's more meme than him actually speaking to some sort of agricultural thing or in it for the spectacle, which sounds like how it was when Patrick Wilson was getting sold this movie. Apparently, that's his idea of a passion project to be in a disaster movie with Robert. Yeah, I guess. Roland Emmerich. I don't know. I want to call him Robert. Anyway, yeah, number 2 in the honorable mention list for the worst list is obviously Ambulance. And if you told me again that Patrick H. Williams is going to do a video essay to explain that Bay is kind of needed for small scale action movies like this, go to the card of that video because I don't even believe it either. So, yeah, like I said, for number 5 with Jurassic World Dominion, it's okay. Like, yes, it's on the worst list mainly because of what's currently going on with Chris Pratt being possibly in a mega church or being a little too Christian than usual. Again, I don't follow that news, but if that is going to be the case, I'm going to try to make that my not focal point going forward with I guess Guardians 3 later this year, but that might be the case. As for the rest of the cast, yeah, I'm happy that Sam Neill and crew are back as well. Jeff Goldblum is Jeff Goldbluming up. Laura Dern is doing the best that she can remember, being Ellie Sattler 30 years later. So you do what you can do, honestly. Yeah, and for the rest of the world cast, every one of their subplots just feels like a whole movie they could have done, but they had to squeeze it in like over 2.5 hours. I don't know. Another thing I just noticed, I just actually did rewatch this before coming into this review. A lot of the practical effects for the dinosaurs just looked like, hey, 4K's a thing now, and if we CG map over the dinosaurs again, it's gonna look like we're really not trying more than usual. I'm gonna ignore that real quick. Hang on a sec. Sorry, guys. People just really want to ruin this review. I don't know why. But yeah, that's my whole thing with, I guess, the Jurassic World franchise. They try to do 2 steps forward and then 2 steps back. It was just a mess. Anyway, on to number 4. Halloween Ends. Again, if you told me that the Halloween franchise had its rebirth and downfall yet again, I probably believe it. As for this movie's case, like I probably said in my review, it tried to basically be a trilogy all based on one day, but because of COVID, they couldn't really do that. So then they tried to be like Season of the Witch, which some fans were cool with. I think one of those last few boys who DJs for the guys had a whole live stream explaining that it's not the worst Halloween sequel in a while, which, I mean, it's true. I mean, there's still, the Rob Zombie remakes out there, just in case anyone wants to remember those. As for, the rest of the movie, Michael doesn't really do a whole lot. They're trying to do, like I said, like, next generation killer vibes with, like, I guess, Friday the 13th, next generation, which actually was a name. If anyone remembers Roy in that, who was trying to be the new Jason at the time. Basically that with, their character, I forgot his name, sorry, dude. Ultimately, for the Strode, family taking down Michael once and for all in, like, the most over-the-top way, yet try to take it seriously. Yeah, that's kind of weird, but I got nothing against David and everybody on the team. They did what they could, and honestly, you tried your best. So that's why you're at number 4. The next 3, though, I do have a lot to say. So, Black Adam. Yeah, I did give it a bit of a passing rating when the movie was new at the time. Now it's on the worst list mainly because there's not enough scenes with Dr. Fate. I'm kidding. It's The Rock basically overly marketing this movie, and yeah, obviously, in Quintessa Sitwell's case, I'm going to try my best to explain in their whole scenario. That again, my apologies on any misgendering I must have done in that actor's case. So, that being said, the rest of the movie, though, is basically bad. They poorly represented the JSA. Where do I start with? Not Hawkeye. Wow, I really am trying to do this. Well, that character, my bad. He was basically trying to be, Connor Hawk, there we go. He was trying to be a lot of things like, I think, an immortal that went through multiple lives, but then is also a member of the JSA since day one. I don't know. It was a whole mess. And for Noah Centineo's, Atom Smasher, if you told me he was going to do this as a pickup for his career after doing a subpar Netflix series that's currently going on called The Recruit, Part 2. Hopefully this is the last one, honestly, guys. Yeah, it's kind of mixed. I'm going to be honest with his performance. It's trying to be like Spider-Man by the way of Deadpool with a, I guess, Ant-Man gimmick. There was a lot going on with that character, and the reason why I haven't talked about the villains or any of the other rest of the non-powered cast is because they're kind of forgettable, and that's kind of not good for the Nation of Conduct, since we're comparing, like, this trying to be, like, the DC equivalent of Wakanda. Yeah, it kind of blew the pooch on that as far as most of this movie goes. So, on to the final 2, we have Day Shift, a movie I totally did not see because, I mean, I did add a character on vacation, but the fact that a vampire-themed John Wick knockoff movie is on my number 2 list means it's probably that forgettable, and you're only there for like one cool trick shot scene that Scott Adkins did because Scott Adkins is gonna Scott Adkins, and we'll know more about that later this year with John Wick Chapter 4. So yeah, that's kind of where I am. For Jamie Foxx and everybody, it's just a paycheck movie. You're just in it for like a few average action scenes and just try to do something with the vampire lore, which wasn't really a whole lot. I guess if I wanted to call it like a knockoff, like From Dusk Till Dawn, it's basically that with LA jokes. So I don't know. And for the last movie in the list, that is the number 1 worst of the year. You're absolutely right. It is Morbin time. Morbius. Where do we start with Michael Morbius that Sony wishes they kind of regret? To say this could have been my worst of the year list in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, or at all leading up to this movie, probably would have been my number 1 in general in either of those years, let alone this year. The meme scene of Matt Smith doing his crazy dance is probably the only good meme I want to say that Sony should have generated a lot more attention onto, but that's kind of where I stand on the whole situation. Now, that being finally said, that should be my end of the year list. If you have any movies that I missed, anything you guys see that is your best and worst movies of 2022, please let me know in the comments down below. And with me trying to figure out my focus on my smartphone again, sorry guys, go to me basically on the end cards to see my previous content, which was mostly shorts because I was a little bit on break these last couple weeks. My bad, guys, on that one. I guess, confused figures here that I forgot to do stage-wise, which I'll probably pick up for the end of the year TV list. Is to my, I don't know, shorts place, since we're talking about the shorts. Go to, a soon-to-be-reviewed, Outback here for, sub to the channel, and check out the community tab when I show off more, photos of him probably being in the wilderness, which a lot of, figure reviewers are doing. Kind of gave away the game there, but, again, it's totally worth it. I'm underselling what I'm hopefully planning to do with this figure going forward later this week. And with that all being said, I am Retrokid Reviews, and oh my god, I can't believe I am actually thinking of you as a future me. I mean, it could work. I mean, let's be honest. Notification bell down below, and until next time, guys, wild out. Okay, I am not a member of Wildcats. Not yet. Dude, you are not future me!